What's the worst announcement your school ever made? When I was a junior in high school, and I still cringe thinking about it, our principal, Mrs. Henderson, was this sweet lady in her 60s who always meant well but had absolutely zero filter when it came to sensitive topics. It was a typical Tuesday morning. I was sitting in first period AP history, half asleep, and definitely not paying attention to whatever Mr. Garcia was saying about the Revolutionary War. You know that drowsy feeling when you're fighting to keep your eyes open? Yeah, that was me. Then the crackling sound of the intercom made everyone's head snap up. Mrs. Henderson's voice came through, way too cheerful for 8:15 a.m. Good morning, Eagles. I have some exciting announcements to share with you all today. Normal so far, right? We're all expecting the usual stuff. Bake sale reminders, sports team updates, maybe something about the upcoming dance. But then she just kept talking. First, I want to congratulate our volleyball team on their recent victory. And speaking of victories, I also want to address some rumors that have been circulating around our school community. The entire classroom went dead silent. You could practically hear everyone's internal alarm bells going off. When principals start talking about rumors, it's never good news. Now, I know some of you have been wondering about the recent changes to our lunch menu, and I want to assure you that despite what you may have heard, the meatloaf incident was not caused by food poisoning. The 17 students who became ill last Thursday simply had a case of what the health department is calling, quote, mild gastrointestinal distress. Wait, what? 17 students? This was the first any of us were hearing about this. I looked around the room and saw my classmates' faces. Pure horror mixed with morbid curiosity. But she wasn't done. Oh no, she was just getting started. Additionally, I want to address the concerning trend of students engaging in what I can only describe as inappropriate bathroom behaviors. It has come to my attention that some of you have been using the facilities for activities other than their intended purpose. At this point, I wanted to crawl under my desk. This secondhand embarrassment was killing me. But Mrs. Henderson just kept going, completely oblivious to how mortifying this was for everyone listening. I'm talking about the vaping, the TikTok dancing, and whatever it is you're doing that requires you to remove your shoes. The janitorial staff has reported finding multiple pairs of socks in the third-floor girls' bathroom, and frankly, we're all very confused. The girl next to me, Sarah, had her face buried in her hands. I think she was crying, either from laughter or pure mortification. I couldn't tell. Meanwhile, our teacher looked like he was contemplating early retirement. Furthermore, I need to remind you all that the security cameras do extend to the hallways directly outside the bathrooms, so please keep your creative expressions to appropriate venues. Creative expressions? Creative expressions? I was dying. We were all dying. Oh, and one more thing. To whoever has been leaving love notes in the suggestion box, while I appreciate the sentiment, telling me that my cardigan game is fire is not exactly the kind of feedback we're looking for regarding school policies. The announcement finally ended with her usual cheerful, "Have a wonderful day, Eagles," as if she hadn't just traumatized the entire student body. The aftermath was legendary. The whole school was buzzing about it for weeks. Someone even created a remix of the announcement and posted it on social media, which Mrs. Henderson somehow found and loved. She actually asked the AV club to play it at the next assembly because she thought it was so creative. That woman was a treasure, honestly. Completely unhinged, but a treasure nonetheless. She retired at the end of that year, and I genuinely think that announcement was her accidental masterpiece. Looking back, I realized she was probably just trying to address legitimate concerns, but her delivery was so spectacularly awkward that it became the stuff of legends. Even now, 5 years later, whenever I run into old classmates, someone inevitably brings up the meatloaf incident or quotes the creative expressions line. Some announcements you never forget.